I got to keep y'all on the screen. I got the producer here with me, you know what I'm saying? So we're going to just do it like this, you know what I mean?
Good.
Yes. It doesn't matter. I'm so happy. I'm hyped. These two guys are two of my favorite guys, so I'm hyped. Thank y'all for watching Rellism Sports Talk on YouTube. Listen on Spotify. Check us out on Facebook, at Rellism Pod on Twitter, Rellism Sports Talk on TikTok. This is episode 179. 179. My man Chris from the Rellism family, we thinking about you, your families, and our thoughts and prayers. Speaking of Rellism family, yo, Drew, mad love for you. No matter what you do, you always keeping us in your thoughts. Big ups to you. Brandon, you always giving me your time. I appreciate you. All the patrons that help with the show, always love for you guys. And all the new subscribers, yo. This new job, I'm getting mad new subscribers out here. Anthony, he's a Heat fan. Sorry, we got to talk about your team in a negative light with my man Niko and his team beating y'all. But y'all still on the rise. We have a lot to talk about. Jason, who's a fellow Mets fan of mine. And Daren, he's a Raiders fan. So you can be with him, you know what I'm saying? He was saying the same things you was talking about moving to Vegas. I don't know. All my Slurpee family, you know what I'm saying? Melissa, Kelsey, Josh. Josh, I'm going to shout out your show on the Raw show because your show is kind of explicit. And then Effany, appreciate y'all all supporting me, supporting the channel and everything else. I don't know what we're doing with the Commanders as much, but I'm keeping faith and love that we're going to keep doing things so I can keep supporting them. Got new owners, so hopefully things can keep going the right way. Love for the Black Mamba right there and all the love for my mama right here. We talking basketball, so we got my man Daren from at Fat Boy Fade Away, and his co-host was going to be on here talking. My man Tyler, we love you and miss you, Tyler. Daren right there. And then Niko from Far Into the Bench podcast, who is a Nugget fan, so that's why you see that that mustache is going like this right now. So he's doing it right here. Look, I love it. Hey, but fellas, on Rellism Sports Talk, we talk about sports from Hall of Famers to the local talent to the big time storyline. That shit was weak. I know y'all on vacation. My man was in Disneyland. He's still hungover from his vacation. Can I get another one, fellas? You know what I'm saying? I miss you guys. Genuinely miss you guys. I'm ready. We talk about sports from Hall of Famers to local talent to the big time storyline. Today we talking all basketball. Of course, we're gonna talk about the Nuggets, their first chip. Players going everywhere, and all of a sudden, people trying to keep up with the Nuggets. You know what I'm saying? This is crazy. We got the draft tomorrow night, which trades can be happening as we speak. We're gonna talk about doors closing on different teams, whether they open, close, or whether there's a screen door there. We're going to see who's really contenders. Of course, we're going to give love to the Nuggets because my man Niko's out here. But Daren, your Warriors, we're going to be talking a lot about them. Who's going to stay, who's going to go, who's coming to join my team. You know, we got a lot to talk about, fellas. Y'all ready? Look at that smile on Niko. Say, I can say anything to him, yo. He's gonna keep smiling. I love that.
Last time I was on the show, I got so much shit for not winning shit, and guess what? We won shit. We won shit. Baby. Okay. I got so much crap for being like, your team's never done anything. Blah blah blah. You don't think I've heard that my whole life? And guess what? We fucking won shit. And now I can talk my shit. So yeah, this smile has not been off my face since Monday night at 11 o'clock p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And because that's when the craziness was going on downtown. So yeah, vibes are immaculate.
I hope the vibes was going more crazy than y'all's post-game celebration because everybody was like this. But anyway, you know, you still on Rellism Sports Talk.
Sorry, NBA champion Denver Nuggets. That's how you refer to this team. It doesn't matter. Say what you want about celebration. The team that swept your team? You guys didn't win a game?
Swept them. You swept LeBron.
4 games?
Swept LeBron.
4 games? Like, they didn't get a game, I think, right, Darren?
I believe that was the case, sir.
Do I remember that correctly? Like, we beat you twice at home? Like, you didn't win a game?
You don't really be talking about that. Okay. I'm happy about it. I don't want LeBron or Steph
to win
the ring at all. And I'll say it again and again and again. I'm happy for you, bro. So, Niko, I'm going to start with you. Your team first chip. You've already given me a little bit. as you were watching, when you realized that it was really going to happen, just give me where were you? What did you do? And what happened the days after that? Just give me some of that. I want to just hear some of this.
So for if you want to hear a full breakdown, obviously we had a show come out today on Wednesday with a full breakdown as well. But I'll give you a quick snippet. I was at the game Monday night. I was traveling for work the whole week before, so I wasn't able to go to game 1 and game 2. I was able to go to game 5. That's the reason why we lost game 2, was so that I could be there for game 5. We could have swept them, but we decided to take it easy and decided to win at home court. That's the side of the fact. I was there at game 5. Me and my dad were sitting there. We're in our normal seats. We have a bunch of, it's basically a motley crew of people. We have a couple guys to our right that I made friends with, a couple father son that sits behind us, a couple people that sit across the aisle because we're on the aisle that have been to nearly every single game all season. We obviously, my dad has season tickets. I go to the stupid games on Tuesday night at 8:30 p.m. when we play Orlando Magic. That's how dedicated I am watching this team. Okay, so we've all been through it all, and it was cool being a part of that. But look, it did not feel real. Like it did not feel real at all until like I think until like Jamal started crying on the screen. If I'm being honest with you, like it really, like, it was like, I cannot believe this just happened. Like here, seeing the trophy come out, seeing the Bill Russell MVP Finals MVP trophy coming out, seeing all that, it didn't hit me until like they started talking to they pulled Jokic's daughter on the stage. They started talking to Jamal. Like, that's when it started hitting me, being like, holy shit, we're the best team in the world with the best player in the world, and we and this little flyover state in the Rocky Mountains. Like that is just so wild to me. Like, all the feelings of going through, like, there's one term, if you live in Denver Nuggets Nation, that has lived through our lives through our whole entirety. It's called Nug life. I'll walk you guys through this. I walked through this on our show, but I'll walk you guys through it again. It is the epitome of having a glimpse of hope, then all being shattered to pieces within a calendar and 2 calendar years. So it goes back 1995. It's Dikembe Mutombo, first 8 seed to beat a 1 seed, knocking off the Seattle Supersonics.
Go ahead.
No. It builds up. It builds up. That following year, less than a calendar and a half year later, the Denver Nuggets decide they're not going to sign Dikembe Mutombo. He walks in free agency, goes into depths of hell, basically, of Nuggets life until 2003 when Carmelo Anthony gets drafted. 2009, Carmelo Anthony, Chauncey Billups, and company gets the Western Conference Finals. Anthony Carter doesn't know how to throw an inbound pass. You lose the Western Conference Finals, lost in the Western Conference Finals to your team, and lose that season. Obviously, the next season, Carmelo Anthony demands a trade, gets traded to New York. Depths of hell again. Depths of hope, dead. Fast forward 10 years later, 2020, you get to the bubble. You beat the Jazz after coming down for 3-1. You beat the Clippers after coming down for 3-1. You lose to the Lakers in the conference finals. I'm aware of this. This is a trending theme.
I'm sorry, I got other background.
It's a trending theme. And then what happens less than a full year later? Jamal Murray tears his ACL on Daren's home court in Golden State. It is the epitome, this franchise and this fan base is the epitome of having a slight glimpse of hope and then being shattered to pieces less than a year later. And that embrace of all Nuggets fans everywhere, and that sigh of relief being like, God damn, we fucking won it. Like it is a feeling that I will never ever forget.
Well, I'm glad that Niko got to get that out on Rellism Sports Talk, because I appreciate you. You deserve that moment. Niko, you deserve that moment.
Did. I absolutely did.
That moment.
I hate to toot my own horn. I really don't do it that often. I'm only 25 years old, but like I've been wearing Nuggets gear since I was born. I had a basketball in my hand since I was born. I grew up watching Dikembe, and obviously Melo and Chauncey, and obviously now the best player in franchise history, best team in franchise history now unfold in front of me. Like I smoked a fucking victory cigar just for the hell of it. Like, there's not very moments you pop a victory cigar. It's probably when you get married, when you have a kid, and probably who knows what else else, but I felt like it was one of those moments that I had to do it.
I don't know, Niko. I mean, you are in Colorado, so I think that cigar might have had a little something in there. You know what I mean? I don't know.
As far as my employers who listen to my show every day, it was a cigar.
So you were at the game when did you get any of the confetti or
I
anything?
was.
Huh? You get confetti?
Oh, you bet your ass. I've spent a stupid amount of money already on stupid shit. Like, I kid you not, I found newspapers, I found Sports Illustrated articles. I was on the ground with my hands grabbing fucking confetti off the ground,
Right,
stuffed it in my pocket. I got it in my in a little Ziploc bag. I have it all saved already behind me. Like I said, when we got to the game, I was like, the first thing I wanted when I got there, I was like, let's go to the store. I want to get the finals patch, right? The little finals patches go on my jersey. So we walk in. I'm like, I'm not going to buy anything else because I know I'm about to spend a stupid amount of money if we win. So I just bought the finals patch, and then the game obviously happened. We're losing. Crazy. And then look, there was never really a feeling of doubt that we're going to lose this game. It was like, you know what? We'll find our way. We will find our way, and they found their way. And like I said, after the game, my dad and I said the story on the show that came out today as well. But we go, first thing we do when we walk out of the stands and out of the main bowl was I see the store, and I'm like, holy shit, they're selling the shirts. We walk right to it, and we grab the shirts, grab a chain, grab all the shit. Hold on, I'll grab the chain after I finish talking about it. Grab a chain, grab the shirt, grab all that shit. And it's funny because the guy standing in front of us, we're talking about, how long. My dad's been a season ticket holder for 35 years. Mm-hmm. And the guy in front of him was saying, yeah, my parents have been season ticket holders for 40 years. My dad had passed away 2-3 years before. And like being a part of that, being like, you know what, he never got to realize that, but my dad did. Like it's that little bond ship that you're like, holy shit. Like it's chill. It's goosebumps making, like, winning that first one. It'll never happen again.
You're right.
And talk about that. And it'll never happen again. Like I hope to God that we can win another championship eventually, but nothing will ever top my experience at that game. Like I don't know if I'll ever go to a Super Bowl. I've been to a Stanley Cup final. I've been to a World Series, and look, nothing, and I mean nothing, will ever beat that experience of being at Game 5 with the trophy, awesome. with my favorite team winning it in my life. Like it was unreal.
That's an awesome moment. All I ask for, can you send me one piece of confetti? Can you give me one piece?
No, fuck out of here. No, hell no.
Of the little pieces, man. One piece. You can't send me one piece. So I can showcase.
No. I'm keeping every single
one piece, bro. One piece.
I'll grab the bag because I got it behind me, and I'll grab the bag. I'll grab the chain I got, but I'm keeping everything. I keep everything, dude. I keep everything.
All right, that's fair. All right, so Daren, as he's talking about all his love and everything for his team, I compared them previously to the Pistons of old and to the Spurs. Having that one star and pieces around a good organization and whatnot. As a Golden State Warrior fan, I looked at your team in the beginning kind of the same way. Like Steph was a focal point. Clay came on. Draymond came on. You know what I mean? Do you appreciate a team like Denver winning the way they won as a homegrown team, kind of like your team was? Minus the stuff. We'll get to that later.
Yeah, no, that's the one thing. I've always liked Malone. Like I told you in the last time I was on with you, I've always been a big fan of him as the coach. I always rooted for him. Even when he went to Sacramento for like a year or two, whatever he was there. But you're right, they are homegrown. I never really thought about the Pistons, but that's actually a pretty good example of a team that has him. And then they have that window when the league is kind of not down, but there's an opening there, and they take advantage of that window there in that sense. That's a good call there. Yeah, I think it's easier to root for teams that are homegrown, right? Like I remember when the Warriors got Durant, right? It was like, well, all the love went away fast. Like, you know what I mean? So like, I think there's that part of the fan that makes that come true. And it was funny listening to Niko there because I did a podcast this week, basically the opposite end, talking about the A's for 30 minutes. Oh. And what I'm saying is I respect the emotion and it's hard to describe what these teams mean to us. And you know that as a Commanders fan, like you go through such these bad stretches that you appreciate the good ones a little bit more when they happen. And they're all part of the journey of being a fan of these teams. So it was really cool. Just get your perspective on that. And that's how I feel about the Nuggets in general. Is like I told you, I think last time on, I see them dominant for 3 more years. Like that's their window. It doesn't mean they're going to win 3 in a row, but I feel like that's their window. It's 3 years.
Well, since you said that, that's a good segue. I like that. You know what I'm saying? They're going to think we rehearsed all this stuff, but we freestyle
That's why we
all
do
this,
this,
baby.
or we're paying the big bucks, man.
As a Laker fan, I am. We've had a couple dynasties. You know what I'm saying? We've had a couple of them. You know what I'm saying? As a Warriors fan, you've had your little dynasty too.
Yep.
Denver, Niko. I mean, Daren already said you got a little window of 3 years, maybe, possibly. Do you see this opportunity that Denver could have a dynasty type? You weren't very positive in the beginning, talking about, well, we might not ever win another. I don't know.
Jimmy, hey, be honest with you, Terrell. Like I because it never happens. Right. So it's simple. Until the hardest one to win is the first one. Plain and simple. And look, you look at the landscape of the NBA, and you look at the landscape of this team. The 5 stars for this team will not only be on the team next year, but will be on the team the following year as well.
Yeah.
Like the main 4, KCP is the one who has the player option after next season, not this upcoming season, but one after. The main core of Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, Jokic, and Jamal Murray all are locked up until I believe 2025.
And they're young.
Locked up. And they're look, Jokic is 28, Jamal's 27. There's not a better window you will ever see. Plain and simple. And look, with the new CBA and everything that's coming out, is Calvin Booth has done an excellent job. He realized, look, it's going to be very difficult to do what the Phoenix Suns are trying to do right now, and that's buy themselves a championship. And look, I have no love lost for the city of Phoenix because of all the shit that they fucking ran up my ass for a 4-0 sweep. And here they are, Cancun on 3. And look, certain things are sweeter when it's built, not bought, is all I will say. And Terrell, you should know that too, okay?
Yeah.
And look, when you talk about this window, it's the pieces that are going to have to come around. Because Jokic is on a trajectory of talking about being an all-time great. That's where we're. That's where we're. Conversation.
15.
Yeah, exactly.
Remember, I told you that. I said that's at the end of the day. That's where I think he will be in that top.
With a championship. Possibly
he has to
2
win
or 3.
More.
If he wins 2 or 3, he is in the conversation. Either way. That's the conversation we're having with him right now. You look at the rest of the conversation. Jamal Murray has never been an all-star. Aaron Gordon, never been an all-star. Michael Porter Jr., never been an all-star. All these guys are so young and raw in their development that they can take that there's another level to them. That's the scary part. And look, when it comes to the playoffs, you know what you're going to get out of your big 5. You know you really are. You know what you're going to get out of your boys. But one of the main reasons why we won this year were obviously because of Bruce Brown, because of Christian Brown, because of Jeff Green, hell, because of DeAndre Jordan for his 3 minutes he played in Game 5. Like it's those little pieces that slide in that fit in perfectly. Obviously, Bruce Brown is a guy who could be resigned this offseason, could be not. You have to retool because look, when you get to a point where you're in the playoffs, you have to be able to set up for success. People can go on and on about how easy of a route it was. Just because we made it look easy, it doesn't mean it was easy, okay? And how easy it was. The reason why we faced an 8 seed, a 4 seed, and an 8 seed, and an 8 seed, 4 seed, 7 seed, and 8 seed was because we were the number 1 seed. We were the best team in the Western Conference. You worked your ass off all regular season to get yourself to a point where every single series comes through 1 mile above sea level. If you're able to do that consistently throughout the playoffs, it is very difficult, especially when you're playing teams they're on their 100th game after a Game 7, like Miami was doing.
Right.
Like when you come play in Denver, it is a disadvantage to you completely.
No doubt.
Well,
and that
you
was one
explained everything this year, Niko. You explained everything how you did this year. I'm talking about dynasty. You're gonna have to.
No, that's what I'm saying. No, doing that consistently.
Are you confident?
Oh yes, I'm confident this team will be a top 2 seed, if not number 1 seed again next year. Plain simple.
Dynasty.
Dynasty. Look, I am not going to sit here. I am not going to sit here and call team dynasty. I will not. Because dynasty is a word that is used for a rare error.
Your coach is all liquored up talking about dynasty.
Your coach is liquored up.
He's liquored up talking about he's LeBron's daddy, and we're going to get another one. Liquored up coach. Right or wrong?
Enjoyed that, didn't you?
I did.
No, he did. He didn't say that.
Daren,
our radio host here in Denver said that.
Daren,
look up who said it. It wasn't Michael Malone that said I'm the Lakers' daddy. It was the radio.
It wasn't
host
even 11 o'clock Western time. And
he was liquored up. He was liquored up.
They were enjoying themselves.
Okay, Manny called his ass out. You know what I'm saying? Daren, as a
They
team
enjoy
that had a
themselves.
dynasty,
Yeah.
do you think, because
one,
you
yep.
keep on giving love to Denver, like they could continue on with a dynasty, is this something that you foresee?
I don't think they will. I just think there's a window, but I
Why
think,
not? Why
I
not?
think
though?
there. I don't. Okay, nobody. If you've ever listened, I'm not the biggest Gordon fan in the world, but I do feel like he's found a niche with Jokic in that regard.
Yeah.
So I don't trust him as a regard going forward.
Hold on,
I
Darren.
can
Hold
see
on,
him
Darren.
falling
Hold on.
off a little bit.
I want to hear.
I'll
Darren, hold on.
counter-argue this here in a
Hold on. I want to
second,
hear
but go ahead.
everything you're going to say, Darren. But out of the
Yeah.
team, we're talking about Denver's team. The one person you
Yeah.
picked out was Aaron Gordon.
Well,
Of all
because
the
Jokic,
people to pick out and all the problems that
yes,
certain people
yes,
have,
because
Aaron Gordon
yes, 'cause the
learned
way-
his role and elevated in that role.
Well, because to me, it's too obvious if I say Jokic or Murray. Like, to me, we both know that if they're not there, they're not winning a championship. So to me, the third guy, it always falls on Gordon, or we could say Porter Jr., I guess, if you want to say those two guys. But I don't want to say injuries. I'm saying Gordon because he's paid like he's one of the best players on the team.
Paid less than the other three.
To counter argument to you, Aaron Gordon was paid like that to guard Karl-Anthony Towns, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, and Jimmy Butler, and back to back.
3 out of 4 were pussy. So
I didn't think Gordon was smart enough to play to understand his role enough to win a champion. Like, there's levels to winning these in players, right? You know that because there's levels to your greatness and like your understanding. Like, just because you make the Western Conference championship, you're a hell of a player. I will remember you. But there's certain levels to these things. And that's where he falls in my regard. It's like, I didn't think Gordon could get to the aspect where he understood, if I just backdoor and freaking cut every time, I'm going to be good. If I don't, because last year in the playoffs against the Warriors, he was terrible. He was god awful against the Warriors last year.
He was the second option last year.
That's my point.
He doesn't need to be the second option when you have the best point guard center duo in the NBA. Plain simple. Like, look, Aaron Gordon's rule is simple. Guard the other team's best player, and if you get us more than 10 points tonight,
he's not there, you guys aren't going to win, though.
I agree, but he is not.
And that's why I think he's important. Will he have a drop off, or can he be like Iguodala and stay consistent, understand his role?
I think he will.
The next 3 years?
I think he will. Honestly, out of Denver's team,
ask me to counter argue.
Other than Jokic, he's somebody I consistently will say, I got faith in to play his role. You know what I mean? Because he's never.
I have less faith in it.
He's tried to be a 1 for Orlando, then he tried to be a 2 for Orlando, and now he's comfortable being a 3 or 4. He's comfortable.
Orlando's basketball hell
being
also,
what he
so don't
is,
forget
you know
that.
what I mean? So going further with it, we saw the Heat, and big ups to my man Anthony, who's a Heat fan. The Heat came a little short, but does the path that both teams played to get to where they got to diminish anything for the Nuggets, Niko? Because we talk about the Lakers winning in the bubble, then we talk about the Spurs winning the championship with a shortened season. I know you're a Nuggets fan, but do you think that other people are going to say, look what Miami had to get to, and you already brought it up earlier, and look what y'all had to get to?
You
does that diminish anything at all?
You can diminish it all you want, but the fact of the matter is there was 4 Hall of Famers that was beaten in this run. 4. Kevin Durant, Chris Paul, LeBron James, Eric Spoelstra, all beaten in this run. You can diminish it all you want, but when you beat it, when you go 16-4, there is no denying you were the most dominant team. Plain and simple. We had a team cheering on in the Phoenix Suns, getting more than 1 win against us. Now you can say this was a bad run, but you are told to beat people in front of you. It's not my fault Milwaukee lost. It's not my fault that Philadelphia is a bunch of bums. It's not my fault that Boston couldn't come back from 3-0. And it's not my fault the Warriors couldn't beat the Lakers. Or it's not my fault that the Memphis Grizzlies were frauds. Look, it's plain simple. You beat the people in front of you. And 4 Hall of Famers were beaten in this run. 4. Okay? You could have the argument, and you could have the argument that Devin Booker could be one. You could have the argument that Rudy Gobert, with as many defensive MVPs, he's a fringe Hall of Famer. You could have the argument that Jimmy Butler, it could be a fringe Hall of Famer down the road. I'm not calling them Hall of Famers. I'm saying you could have the argument later down the road. But without a doubt, 4 Hall of Famers were beaten in this run. So say what you want about beating an 8 seed, a 7 seed, and a 4 seed, and another 8 seed. But the Denver Nuggets dominated the way. It's only easy when you make it look easy.
Daren, he's going to say that because he deserves to say that. He's got his first one. He's got his cherry pop.
Look at the statistics.
Now,
we
Daren,
were picked to lose against the Suns. We were picked to lose against the Timberwolves. Real people out there at Woj. Worldwide World.
I never had faith in Denver. I did.
We had people saying that the Lakers figured us out after game 1 and that we'd lose in 5. I remember that. We had people saying that the Heat figured us out at home court after losing game 2. So it's funny how these narratives change all of a sudden when you fucking get your ass whooped. It's funny. It's funny how these narratives change. When you get your ass whooped.
How many rings have y'all?
It doesn't fucking matter. We won.
No. I'm talking about something else. Daren, y'all got 4, right? Does any one of those mean more to you than the other one?
The first one is always the best.
The first 2 without KD mean more than the other 2, don't they?
Well, we only got one without KD.
Oh, one without KD.
And then we got 2
got your last one without KD.
Yeah, and then we got that one. So those ones do hit a little bit.
Those mean more than the 2 you got with KD, right?
I would say I feel a little bit better, yeah.
Of course you do, because of the road it took to get there. That's the reason why I brought up Denver. He has something else to base it on because Denver finally got one. We can always look back.
The question was,
when we won in our three-peat,
and I
the one I'm going to love the most is not the first one. It's the one when we came back and beat Portland with the alley-oop to Shaq, Kobe. That's going to be my favorite one because of the road it took to get to that moment. You know what I mean? So that's the only reason why I brought the road. You know what I mean? So is Denver winning the championship good for the NBA, Daren?
I think it's good for the NBA because I think it's good when you have smaller markets like this go because it pushes the bigger markets to even get a little bit even more fired up. But even you think about Denver, a lot of people forgot that Kroenke was the owner of the Nuggets. They never associate him with nobody ever associates. They always think he's because the Nuggets you think of as kind of a cheap franchise in the past, right? I don't know how long he's taken over. I don't know how long he's been the owner there, Niko. But that's what I've always associated.
Something like that.
Yeah, so I've always associated them with a team that hasn't paid people, and so it was funny to see him up there holding the trophy as well. I think Denver is in a really good position going forward. I mean, I ripped on them a little bit, but man, come on, Drill. They got the best.
Is the league?
Yeah, the league. You want me to answer the question?
The league is happy they win because they have the best player in the league that won a championship, and he's an international player at the best. So I think it's really good for the game. And I like it a little bit because I don't know about you. I noticed that American players get a little pissed off at things like this. I didn't really think about it till this year, but you've seen it with Gilbert Arenas make some stupid comments and some other guys out there about that. And I think it's kind of funny when you hear these guys kind of be like, well, these international guys, like if we got this, we went to got this. I don't know. Like there is this kind of thing where I'm like, well, maybe these guys will get a little juiced up. I'll like it a little bit. I like it. I want to see that a little bit. So I think it's good
like
for
it
them
too. And the international players are really taking over. We saw Giannis do his thing. Luka's out here doing it. The Joker just did it. And now with the NBA draft tomorrow, the number 1 pick's gonna be overseas also. You know what I mean? I think it's great for the NBA.
I haven't thought about it, but I'm curious how many top 10 players would be international, Terrell. If I did it, I can't. I'm not really good. But you just named 4 out of 10 right there.
It's crazy. It's crazy to even think about it. And I'm sorry that we're on Zoom. Everybody that's going to be watching this on Zoom, I'm cheap. I ain't got the upgrade, so it's going to cut off in 10 minutes. So I'm going to have to redo it again, and y'all have to jump back on because we have a lot to talk about. Can y'all do that?
Yeah.
I bet. And Niko's like, man, what's this?
I have my
Nico, don't look at me like that, yo.
I have my 2 cents on whether it's good for the league. I wonder if, from my perspective,
we know you think it's good for the league. We know you think it's good.
No, I don't. I really don't.
Oh, go ahead, tell me why.
They fucking hate us.
Tell me why.
I'll give it because my rant's going to be longer than a minute here. So I'll give it the break, the TV timeout. I'll give it the TV timeout.
I think it's going to be good for the league. The NBA probably thinks it's good for the league because they don't want these super teams. They don't want these crybabies asking to get out of their contracts and join different things. And they don't want all that. They like seeing team basketball parity. They like parity because we could talk about, which we will talk about, a whole bunch of different teams that could win next year because it's not super teams. So I think the NBA enjoys that. And if you look at other sports, you look at football, the Chiefs, they keep winning. You give away your best player. You give away your best wide receiver who's beating up people everywhere else again, which we'll talk about on another show, and they keep winning. Look at hockey. Vegas, they were a team that came out of nowhere.
You're talking about hockey now, Terrell?
And then they
After all that shit I got, last time I came on talking about the Avs, and you now you're talking about hockey.
Yeah, I'm talking about.
Man, crazy.
Hey man, I'm versatile, baby. Don't school you, baby. I'm versatile. You know what I mean? But I'm just
and look, I didn't realize I realize I had 7 minutes, so I'll go on my rant now. Look, it's bad for the league. It's bad for the league. If we are the Denver Nuggets are bad for the league because they don't have a fucking state of mind, and they have to actually have people that work hard like JJ Redick and company actually talk about the game, because the Kendrick Perkins of the world and the Richard Jeffersons of the world have to find their fucking old niche by sucking LeBron off to find a story. So now they actually have to find something to talk about. So as far as ESPN, and look, I love the TNT guys, so I don't give them any hate because they're very, very good at what they cover because they're former players that actually did something in the league as opposed to Richard Jefferson, Kendrick Perkins and company that have done nothing. So yeah, they hate it. They hate it. As far as Adam Silver does, yeah, he loves it. It's the first, like I said, it's the first time since 1979 that a team not from California and not from Texas has won the NBA championship out of the West. Out of the West.
By the time y'all did some shit then, but I love Niko.
I'm just saying,
JJ Redick.
It is changing the landscape of the league. I will second this with the Bucks did, with what Toronto did. Because look, those are Denver, Milwaukee, and Toronto. Yes, it's a big Canada market, but it's not a basketball market. Are 3 markets that are not markets that people are saying we got to go to. We got to go to as free agents. You look at what the NFL has done with their smaller cities. Kansas City's not a big city, but it's the best football team in the world. Plain and simple. And the NFL knows how to market them better than anyone else.
Yes,
Why can't the NBA do it? Why can't they market them better like they do?
NBA does. Baseball
they don't.
And players are going to want to play with Jokic, man. Like you're going to get those now that you have the best player in the world. You're going to get these guys that come to your team that you're like, what? I don't think you're going to have. It's not Cleveland.
When you got the best player in the league, who two-time MVP, Finals MVP, and he says Jamal Murray's the best player on the team, who wouldn't want to play with this team?
Exactly.
Who wouldn't want to play? I'm getting a triple-double, but he's the best player. I mean,
there's stars out there that are shipping their guys off for whatever they can get. Cough giving up KCP for Russell Westbrook. Cough giving up the likes of Chris Paul, who I hate, and a lot of other great role players for Bradley Beal. Maybe Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges, guys who went through the thick and thin for you to try to buy a championship and get Kevin Durant. Like there are a lot of teams out there that just trying to buy it. That's what makes it so much sweeter.
Since you said that, we got 5 minutes left. Since you said that, we're gonna segue right to that. The Suns, which we just saw, after they couldn't do it, even though people picked them when Kevin Durant went there to beat you guys, and you destroyed them.
They were the title favorites. They were the title
Suns'
favorites.
big 3 now with Beal, Booker, and Durant. Tell me, Daren, is it gonna be the Heatles of Miami, or is it gonna be either team in Brooklyn when they had KD, Paul Pierce, and all them, or the other one with Kyrie? Which way do you think the Suns version is going to play out? The Heatles or the Nets?
Definitely not the Heatles. I don't like the move for Phoenix. I don't think it's I definitely don't understand it from the Wizards standpoint. I'm going to say that right away just to get them out of the way. That I don't even get that. But just for the Phoenix, I mean, Phoenix got a good deal, right? Like they didn't give up much to get them.
It's the money.
But with the salary cap coming in, I'm not a big. I like Beal, but I'm not like, oh, he takes you over the top now. And then when he plays with Booker and Durant, it's like it doesn't really take the pressure off Durant. Like he still has to make him and Booker are still going to be the playmakers unless Beal really changes my thought process on that. I know he had his great run in 2017 to be in that series against Boston, but for Phoenix to go all in and then your bench is just going to be questionable out of your mind. You saw Denver abuse it. I just don't get it.
I don't get it either. You agree, Niko?
From my standpoint, look, unless they move DeAndre Ayton, this team is not going to be a top 3 team in the West.
No, they got to trade him.
If they can move him for some role players, possibly to Indiana, get Miles Turner and
it's always Indiana.
No,
Indiana. I know it's always Indiana. Either way, there's a lot of teams that could want a guy like DeAndre Ayton. They have to move him. If they don't move on from him, then they're in trouble. If they move on from him, they're also in trouble. Like plain and simple, like you have look, the Suns' main thing right now this offseason is you have to go see if you can go sign Torrey Craig, see if you can sign Terrence Ross, and that's going to be your bench.
Yeah.
That's going to be your bench. I will go on record, and you can count me down for this, that Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, and Devin Booker won't play 40 games or more together as a group. They will not play more than 40 games. They will not as three. They are hurt a lot. All three. Bradley Beal missed a lot of time last year. Devin Booker obviously missed time. Kevin Durant was banged up all last year. Those three will not play together as a group, all three together on the court, same time, more than 40 games. I guarantee it. And you're going to have to find other pieces to step up. You really do.
Saying this from a team whose players, their best 2 and 3 player, been hurt the past 3-4 years. Oh, that's true. And Murray got hurt.
This is true.
You're in the playoffs.
This is true. Like look,
hey, Niko, who is the white guy starting for the Suns? Who is that guy?
Jock Landale. Jock Landale deserves some respect. All right, St. Mary's.
That's all right.
He should have started over fucking DeAndre Ayton at some points in that series.
He did start one game already. We got a minute and 40 seconds left. Sorry, I'm cheap. And we doing Zoom because the producer couldn't get here. He had to do some family stuff, whatever. I appreciate these two guys jumping right back on after I put this on. Probably be about 5-10 minutes. We got a lot to talk about because Miami might have a situation with a superstar that might come to their team. But now the team wants to keep him and maybe trade their pick and get – it's a lot of crazy stuff going on with Dame time. I can't wait to get to that. Then we're going to do doors for all the teams, contenders in the East, contenders in the West. Whether we think the door is closed, open, or got a screen door on it, with the things that are going on with free agency. All right, fellas? Just letting you know what's going to pop off here in a minute, all right? We know Niko took up half the damn show talking about how happy he was, but he deserves that. He deserves it, Niko. I appreciate
Read
it.
the shirt.
I appreciate
Champion.
it. And I don't mind sharing the love with you, Niko, because you deserve it. I always remember my first time, too. And we done won how many? 20-some? I remember my first one, though. Rellism Sports Talk, episode 179, part 1. We'll be right back, fellas. Right back. Same one. Pop back in, all right?
All right, sounds good.
Niko, I wish I could grow a mustache. I can't grow no fucking hair.
Hey,
it's bullshit.
Easy being greasy.
I love it. See y'all in a minute, fellas.
See ya.